Yes, hi guys. Greetings of the day. Hope you guys can all hear me well. Yeah, and hopefully see me also. Right. Let's get started. Yeah, I'm just waiting for everyone to join. So please feel free to introduce yourself on the chat. Yeah, and meanwhile, let me just get everything here together, and we can be on our way. I'll just give it a couple of minutes, guys, so that there are people joining. So let everybody be in. And it's once again the exam season. So hope you guys have been preparing well for your exams and all that, right? So for anybody writing SBL, this is going to be super useful. For the rest of you writing other papers, best of luck, first of all. Yeah, and hope you achieve whatever you're looking to achieve, right? Now, I think, yeah, we can slowly get started. Right. So let's talk about SBL a bit before we get started. Once again, guys, greetings of the day. My name is Arvind Suryadev. I'm with here, right? And we're going to be looking into the pre-scene analysis for the December 2025 SBL exam. Yeah. Now, this is, yes, once again, that time of the year. Yeah, it's not just the holiday seasons that's coming up. For a lot of you, right, there are some serious exams also coming up. So let's see how we can help you with that, right? And here we have the pre-scene that comes out or that came out yesterday, right? We have the pre-scene analysis of it here. So I'll be taking you guys through it. Hopefully this will be helpful for your SBL exam. Now, before we start about the pre-scene itself and the company from the pre-scene, yeah, let's talk a bit about SBL right now. This is the contents of what we have to go through I'll take you guys through this in just a second. But before that, let's talk about certain key areas for SBL. Since you guys are going to be writing SBL, there are certain things that you have to know. There is no question about it. Number one, yeah, the idea of corporate governance itself. Why do we have corporate governance, or what is corporate governance? Now, corporate governance is the right way to run a company. That's the basic definition of it. The right way a organization should be governed. Yeah, a corporate organization should be governed. Now, agency, the reason why we have corporate governance, agency theory is also the reason why we have a lot of, for example, proper financial reporting and then auditing those financial reports. All of this is because of agency theory. Now, what is this agency theory or agency problem? Yeah. See, the agency theory is very simple. It looks at the relationship between principals and agents. Now, who are principals? Who are agents? Well, you guys may know the concept of public limited companies or how limited liability companies function. Yeah. The directors run the company, whereas the shareholders own the company, right? So it's kind of important to understand that there is separation of ownership and control. I may be invested in the company with my money, but yeah, I may not be actively involved in the running of the company. So how does my money grow? Well, I've left somebody else in charge, the board of directors, the agents relationship. Yeah. So there can be conflicts of interest there. Absolutely. Directors are in a position where they can control huge sums of money for their advantage. Yeah. Whereas the shareholders have to blindly trust them, hoping that the company would do well under the directors, yeah, taking care of it or whatever, right? So agency theory is all about that, trying to avoid the conflicts of interest, making sure that everybody's on the same page. We call this why? Because the directors directors have fiduciary duty, yeah, a stewardship towards the shareholders. And then stakeholder theory is another theory that you guys definitely need to know about. Who are stakeholders? Anybody pretty much with an interest in the company is a stakeholder. Now, you guys made of this quite a bit. If you haven't, well, you have a lot of learning to do. If you have, well and good. Now, it is about understanding what your stakeholders want. Now, remember, stakeholders are assessed based on two things: their power and their interest. Yeah, two tangents that you can measure, right? Now, some stakeholders may have a lot of interest, but they have very little power. In situations, yeah, we don't have to particularly well keep them armed. That's the idea. You guys may know the idea of the stakeholder mapping. Yeah, mental stakeholder, right? That's what stakeholder mapping talks about. Similarly, there can be people with full power and full interest in your company. Your directors are a good example. Your shareholders, major shareholders, are a good example. Yeah. So stakeholder theory is about understanding the interest of the stakeholders involved, right? All the stakeholders involved. That means generally shareholders, your directors, your employees, the government, suppliers, customers, even the community. Now, there are internal stakeholders, there are external stakeholders. There is also a category in between known as connected stakeholders. Yeah. Now, important stuff, most definitely. Basic stuff, but very important. Yeah, that you guys know this. Now, what about CSR, corporate social responsibility? See, the concept is that businesses are also social citizens, if you think of it, citizens of a society. Yeah. So they have a responsibility to operate in a manner that benefits society. So basically, give back to the society, just like how people give back. Yeah. Companies should also give back. Maybe of something, maybe it's providing free education or some kind of support to a marginalized community, or maybe it's just some cleanup drive. Yeah, but whatever it is, CSR is important. Yes, and strategically speaking, CSR helps to create good for the company. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, guys, professional, yes, SBL has 20 marks. 20 marks from the total of 100 is for your professional skills. Now, professional skills, most students try to or tend to ignore it. Yeah, but don't. These are actually easy marks that you can get, provided you structure your answer in a certain way. Yeah. So, what are these marks for? Number one, analysis, analyzing the given situation, being able to comment on what exactly is going on. Yeah. Analysis, especially using arithmetical techniques or models, very important. Communication, how you communicate and how you present your answer, yeah, can make all the difference. Easy marks, guys. Communication is probably the easiest marks you can get, provided you know exactly what you want to talk about. It's not about using, well, fancy language or sophisticated language. It's not that. It's just about being clear about what you want to communicate and presenting it in a particular way, not a particular way, in a very clean fashion. What should I say? A more think corporate. Imagine you had a client and you had to write a report to your client, or you're addressing somebody who is professionally working with you. Then how would you write it? Think of that. Yeah. Commercial acumen, it's about knowing, yes, the real world situations and being able to understand a situation in more depth. Yeah. So commercial acumen, yes, is again easy set of marks to get, I would say. Evaluation, closer to analysis but goes beyond it. You have to look at a situation, evaluate it, look at the different options that may be available. Sometimes evaluation based questions may also come with a recommendation requirement. Yeah. So don't just start off with the recommendation requirement. Evaluate everything that is given to you, talk about the pros and cons, use a diplomatic professional language, guys. That means you talk about the pros and the cons of a given situation. Yeah, not just be one sided, right? Then skepticism. Yeah. Well, the last of the professional skills, skepticism is something that, well, audit students would very well know. It's about the questioning mind or the questioning method or way of approaching things. Don't take things on face value. Always question things. Yeah, try to understand them from a deeper sense, or try to always ask questions and get answers for them. So skepticism, yeah, could be quite useful in your answers also. Try to achieve these things. Look at model answers, see how they achieve them. Yeah, that would be the best way to go. Compare your answers also. Now, let's get on with it. Another set of, well, basic data or basic knowledge that you guys need to have, the code of ethics. Now, this is something that we all have to follow. Yeah, as long as you're part of the ACCA fraternity. Yeah, very important. So starting with integrity, that's honesty. Yeah. There is objectivity, right? Objectivity is not being influenced, unbiased. Yeah, not being influenced by anything, right? Confidentiality, yeah, is secrecy or being able to maintain secrets unless it is a legal requirement to divulge them. Yeah, because you can't be well, for maintaining confidentiality, it cannot turn into abetment, yeah, to crime, right? So ideally, yeah, if there is a professional requirement to divulge something or to break confidentiality, you should do it. But otherwise, all the sensitive information which you would be privy to, you would have access to a lot of sensitive information, especially if you're an auditor or in a serious financial role. Yeah, finance role. In such cases, confidentiality should be maintained. Very important. Yeah. Now, moving on, guys, professional behavior. Do not do anything that would discredit the ACCA organization. Yeah, basically, it's as simple as that. Again, especially in professional settings, very important to maintain professional behavior. Finally, professional competence and due care. Now, competence is about having the right set of skills. If you don't have the right set of skills, don't take up a particular engagement or an assignment. Yeah. Make sure you always have the required set of skills. So how do you do this? There is something known as CPD. You guys may have heard. Continual professional development, continuous professional development, different things they call it, mean the same thing. You have to keep developing yourself like a blade that has to be kept sharp all the time. Same thing. Yeah. And due care. Now, you guys may have also heard of due diligence. Exercise caution with whatever you do. Yeah. Prudence is an accounting concept that I'm reminded of whenever I think of due care and due diligence. Right. Now, moving on from there, these are the code of ethics, basic stuff. Let's also talk about the way the exam is going to be. Now, again, let me not bore you with this. You guys already know all this. Yes, I'm sure. But for anybody watching this, right, anybody who does not know how the SBL exam is structured, this is what you guys need to look at. The total time available, 3 hours and 15 minutes. this used to be a 4-hour exam. Yeah, the change that now you have the pre-seen material. It's been like this for a while now. So total marks, technical marks are 80, basically for all your written stuff or all the questions that you have. 80 marks is what is allocated to them. Yeah, professional marks and the skills we were talking about earlier, 20 marks that you can get from them. So that's why we say, I wouldn't call them easy marks, but they don't require any extra knowledge per se. It's just about how you apply the knowledge that you already have, and keeping in mind those professional areas where you get the marks. Now, the time plan here, see, 80 technical marks means per mark you need about 2 minutes roughly. Yeah, so you only need 160 minutes technically to write the entire thing. But professional marks, yeah, because they don't have any excess writing, yeah, this is involved within the answering technique that you use within your writing style itself. Because of that, we're not allocating any time for the 20 marks. Now, what does this mean? It means that out of the 195 minutes that you have, that is 3 hours and 15 minutes, 160 minutes would be for writing your answers. The remaining time would be for, well, one, reading the question. Most students miss out on this. SBL is an exam that where they require you to read the question quite well, because if you don't understand the specifics of this, you'll be simply rambling in your answer sheet. You don't want that. That doesn't get you marks. What gets you marks is being precise, concise. Don't use bullet points. Be a little more elaborative. Yeah, but try to stick to the point. Try to avoid. Yes, it's good to see a well-written, huge answer, but involving unnecessary points is not going to get you any marks. Yeah. So 20 minutes for reading the 6 questions and highlighting points from the exhibits. Yeah, you'll have a lot of exhibits that you keep track of. So it's always good to mark something somewhere, especially if you have a rough paper you're working on. Back in the days when it was a written paper, we used to mark on the question paper. Yeah. Then the last 15 minutes at the end can be used for an overall review and wrapping up your exam. Yeah. This is the ideal way to write it. Of course, some changes here and there are only bound to happen. But always remember, guys, what you need to do is this. Yeah, do not waste too much time on an answer that you're not very sure about. Yeah, that's advice for all your papers, not just for SBL. Now, moving on from there, let's talk about the time plan. Yeah, the golden rule. You have 10 technical marks, then write 5 good points. Yeah, each point should be able to get you 2 marks. Make sure you write really good or the best 5 points you can think of for a 10-marker question. Spend 20 minutes writing them because, hey, 10 marks, 2 minutes per mark. That's why. So keep this metric in your mind. You don't want to cross that. Yeah, you can kind of average it out. Sure, for sure, some questions would take you a little more time than this, whereas some questions you should be able to make it up within lesser than this time. So kind of, averaging out your time. So keep this in mind. This is the ideal rule to follow. Moving on from there, let's begin with what we came here for, and that would be the pre-seen analysis. So this time they have a hotel company, a hotel 35 branch hotel chain, but owner managed chain, not exactly a chain, right? So we're talking about Levwell, that's the company. Yeah. So introduction to Levwell, let's talk a bit about it. The background here, owner managed business that operates 35 high quality, 4-star hotels in England. Now, in the pre-seen material, there's a comparison between the different facilities that come up in all these star hotels. Quite interesting, so I must say they're upping the game every single time with the pre-seen analysis. It's always a new industry, and you get to learn a bit about the industry through the pre-seen. So quite interesting and educational. Yeah. Now, moving on, the target market here is primarily leisure guests, not exact business customers. Hotels generally have business customers. Leisure guests, tourists, people just taking a break, right? All these people come under the leisurely travels list or travelers list. Yeah. Whereas we have the professionals or the business people traveling too. That's business travel. The company here is primarily focusing on leisure guests. Yeah. Now, moving on, the USP here. Why would people pay for this hotel? What is the value that they're trying to sell? So it's non-standardized. It's not your usual drab hotel room. Yeah, I hate these classic hotel rooms. They're all the same pretty much, right? So this is not that. They're supposed to be non-standardized, distinctive hotel designs. Yeah. So think of like a boutique hotel. That's what comes to my mind, right? Reflecting local areas. So more of a local experience, more of a personal touch or something more intimate. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, what else? The location, yes, it is rural or coastal seaside locations. Yeah, I think my video dialogue box is covering that. But yeah, that's what it says over there, guys. Rural or coastal seaside locations. Yeah. So they do choose scenic locations to a great extent or rural locations, which could save them money. but at the same time, which could give the customers a sort of, USP, sort of value addition. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, the mission statement of the company is to provide an exceptional experience for every guest every single time. Now, as mission statements go, that's quite a vague mission statement. Of course, there's a bit more to it. From the mission statement, we can understand certain things, and that would be the values of the company. Number one is care. They want to be able to care for their customers. Yeah, mainly, of course, it's the hospitality business. Then, first class service. Hospitality is all about the kind of service that you give. If any of you are in the hospitality business or are running something as simple as an Airbnb, you would know what I'm talking about. Service, the better your reviews, the more the customers you have. So first class service is something that they really want to focus on. It's one of the values that they have. And positivity, a general positive approach towards everything. See, we're talking about hotels. Yeah, we're talking about the hospitality industry. So the hospitality industry has to have a lot of positiveness. I feel that all the time, right? Customers can be a bit unruly, or there can be all kinds of problems, but the hospitality industry is supposed to be comforting for the customer. Yeah, when I go to my hotel, I'm relaxed, or that's what I want to be, right? So positivity, yeah. Responsibility also, taking up responsibility for their things and whatnot, right? Being responsible for the set values or for the standards that they want to set. And finally, teamwork. These are the values that Levwell has. Yeah. So they want to make sure that everybody in their team also works together. Coordination of a team is very important, especially pretty much in every industry, wherever a team is involved, and most definitely in the hotel industry. We've all been customers of the hotel industry, not sellers. Yeah. So I'm sure you guys know, yeah, what you would expect from a good hotel, especially a 4-star hotel. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, guys, let's talk about the country that they're part of, excellent hotel industry. Yeah. So it is a highly competitive mix of chains and independent hotels. Yeah, independents have 48% of the room supply available in the market. Now, mix of chains of hotels. So you guys see the classic chains, your Marriott and your Taj in India, or you have your, well, Marriott mostly. I can't think of so many, right? Anyway, you guys know the chain of hotels, the N number of chain of hotels. Yeah, Holiday Inn or Shangri-La, right? Now, anyway, the point is those are chains, and then there are independent hotels also, smaller and bigger, different sizes, sure, and different service levels also, different start levels as they call it. Yeah. So independent hotels kind of govern about 48% of the total number of rooms available in this industry in Estland. Yeah. Now, what are the challenges in this industry? Well, number one challenge is the economic downturn. So there is a fall in demand, especially from leisure guests. Yeah, reduced willingness to spend. Now, this may be due to multiple factors. Yeah, there are multiple factors discussed in the pre-scene itself. In the real world, yeah, a good example would be that hotels are catching lesser and lesser customers thanks to Airbnbs or private smaller experiences coming up. Yeah, so that's a real thing that's happening around us. Similarly, there are other problems also here. So let's see what they are. Now, the fall in demand, yeah, from leisure guests, not just business guests. Business guests, they're not particularly worried about. Leisure guests seem to have, well, fallen in number. And there is a general reduced willingness to spend. They don't want to spend too much money. So, not exactly the best news in an industry. Then, moving on, costs are increasing. As always, yes, the returns are decreasing, the costs are increasing. So this could be high inflation. This is high inflation impacting maintenance. Yeah, maintenance costs of something like a hotel can be quite high. Yeah, especially if you want to maintain it prim and proper. Then renovation expenses and energy costs. Keeping a hotel lit is not easy. Yeah. Moving on, what are the other challenges? They also have staffing challenges. Staffing challenge would mean that employees are leaving quite a bit. So high employee turnover. This could be because of, well, poor pay. You're not paying people enough, or it's long or antisocial hours. Now, yeah, nobody likes working in the graveyard shift. Yeah, by graveyard shift, I mean the late night shifts, right? So if you guys have worked in one of them, you would know what I'm talking about again. It's not the time to work, right? Not because it's dangerous or something, right? It's just it just takes out your energy. That's what I've always felt whenever I worked in the graveyard shift. Seems to be the same here. Employees seem to be leaving because of that reason and other reasons like not enough pay. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, what are the next challenges? Sustainability has also become a problem. Yeah. Growing environmental concerns influencing guest decisions like carbon footprint. So guests may be more inclined to something that is more sustainable or eco-friendly. Now, this is a growing trend that I keep seeing whenever I'm looking at hotels. Yeah. I keep seeing smaller Airbnbs or boutique hotels that are more environmentally friendly, eco-friendly. And nowadays, these booking platforms also talk about how eco-friendly the said hotels are. Yeah. So yes, customers definitely value nowadays. So the hotel industry there may also value this. Yeah. And they seem to be facing this as a challenge, or this is the general challenge in the industry. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, innovation and trends. Yeah. Technology, they're doing some innovation on this front. Mobile check-in, check-out, hotel apps, AI chatbots. We've seen this all. We are living in the era of AI. Yeah. Mobile checking in and checking out is not something new. I particularly don't have to explain how it works, I believe, right? I'm sure you guys know, yeah, what they're talking about. We have better technology than the technology mentioned in the pre-scene. Technology is very dynamic and it's growing every day, right? So mobile check-in or check-out, hotel apps, your AI chatbots. Then what are the other innovation and trends? Yield management. See, real-time price adjustments using AI or data analytics for optimal revenue or occupancy balance. Now, this is something that is possible thanks to big data and your AI and machine learning and all that, right? All the technologies that we have recently started using in business. Yield management, yield is the return. Yeah. So yield management is all about managing your return. Now, real-time price adjustments. See, sometimes when you try to book a hotel, yeah, you will get it at a great deal. Now, this may be a last-minute booking, or this may be a booking that you do quite early. Doesn't matter. Point is, AI or data analytics set those price nowadays, and this is based on how the market behaves. So if the AI engine, yeah, or if the data says that now is a downtime and markets don't buy, or participants in the markets won't book hotels now, you will see great deals coming out. So this way, at the end of the day, for the hotel, it's all about selling out as much as possible. Yeah, making sure that as many rooms as possible are booked out. Yeah, because most of their revenue do come from rooms, right? Now, yield management is something that is a tad bit better or easily doable nowadays. Up next, what else? Financing. Yeah, emergence of sale and leaseback agreements, right? Leaseback arrangements. Yeah, financing also. Selling and leasing back is a concept that you guys learned in other papers in ACCA. It talks about, well, selling your asset and then leasing it back. This is particularly good in times of negative cash flows or very little cash flows, especially if you need cash to survive. Best thing to do, sell an asset that you own, rent it back for the time being. Yeah. And maybe even have an agreement to back. The treatment of this, the financial treatment we have discussed in SPR, FR and all, right? Should be treated as a loan, should be treated as a sale. They talk about all this. In SBL, we particularly discuss the accounting treatment of these things, so it doesn't matter. Does matter though is the strategic aspect of such arrangements. Yeah. Now, moving on, guys. Levwell's business model and operations. Check this out. What I was talking about earlier. Yeah, Levwell at least makes most of their revenue from rooms. 62% is room revenue. Food and drink is 30%. Other facilities or other packages that may be offered in the hotel, other services, 5%. Yeah. So these are the main sources of income, only three sources pretty much. Then seasonality is also shown here. Year ended 30th June 2025. I can see that the months from October to March, the usual holiday seasons, yeah, or approaching the holiday seasons, end of the year and the beginning of the year, this is where they seem to have the most amount of sales. Yeah. So the rest of the months, it's decent. It's averaging out at around 70,000, yeah, 70% capacity, right? And in their ADR dollars, yeah, they have about $100 million, I'm guessing. Yeah, not $100, 100,000 or $100 million. Yeah, probably 100,000 maybe, right? But anyway, their highest goes to just about 90%, not 90% particularly. I hope you guys can see this, right? It's not 90%, 85%, 87% is the highest occupancy that they see. Yeah. So average occupancy has also been calculated over there. Cool. Now, moving on from there, let's see. Key processes. Bookings, primarily via the website. They have an integrated management system, right? Now, moving on, housekeeping. They have SOPs in place. Laundry is outsourced. So everything they have in place, just like how a functioning hotel should be. But these are the key processes. One is taking the bookings. The next is making sure the hotel is kept clean, housekeeping, very important in a hotel. Then we have maintenance, in-house team for routine, external for major refurbishment. Yeah, absolutely. I think the last time or a couple of times, when I've stayed at a hotel, I had a broken pipe or an AC that was not working. So it's always important for a hotel to have a maintenance team on board, probably available 24 hours. Yeah, because you don't want customers complaining or posting bad reviews. Yeah, regarding how the AC was not working or regarding how there was no water or the pipe broke or something. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, in-house team for routine maintenance. For anything major, you would need external. They have external help. That's how it works right now. Yeah. So something behind. Now, moving on, the governance and risk profile of the company. Yeah. They have 5 executive directors. Yes, there was a chart showing this. Yeah, hierarchy chart. Right. Then they have 5 NEDs directors. I hope you guys know the importance of NEDs. If you don't, please look into corporate governance. Very important. Yeah. Now these EDs and NEDs, right, they kind of balance the board. That's how it should be. Good corporate governance means equal number, 50-50, of executive directors and non-executive directors. Now, they also have 4 subcommittees. Yeah, the audit committee, remuneration committee, the nomination committee, and I believe the risk committee. We will check out what the committees are. But audit committee is most recommended. Remuneration and nomination committees are also, yeah, important committees in a corporate governance setup. Yeah. Now, moving on. What are the main risks that this company faces? Yeah, Levwell, right? Now, competition is one of the main caveats of this industry. Just like any other industry that is well flourished and doing well, yeah, we will have fierce competition. Now, loss of market share due to failure to respond to market changes. Right. This is very important in a dynamic industry. Now, I wouldn't say the hotel industry is so dynamic, but to a great extent it is. Yeah, with the advent of technology and with the advent of Airbnbs or your Airbnb, I mean, smaller bread and breakfast, yeah, competition has really gone up. And not just this. Back in the days, customers didn't have access, yeah, to say a listing of all the hotels in a particular area. I have to manually go to each hotel and find out how much they charge and what their facilities are. It would take a lot of time. So today, though, yeah, it's quite easy thanks to our mobile apps and whatnot. So competition, the effect of competition, going to be much more stronger. So loss of market share, yeah, due to failure to respond to market changes. When the market changes, you also have to change as a seller, otherwise you'll be left behind. Pricing, yeah. Now, pricing, challenging in finding the right price or the optimal price. If you set it too high, not too many people will book. If you set it too low, you will sell out probably, but then there may be some missed revenue. There will be always this thought at the back of your mind that, hey, I could have made more money. Now that's opportunity cost. Yeah. Missed revenue. You don't want to think like that. You don't want to have regrets. Yeah. Now, reputation also, damage from failing to deliver quality guest experience. Yeah. If you don't provide a high quality guest experience, especially when you're a 4-star or a 5-star hotel, and you charge your clients accordingly, right, you're bound to provide them a hospitable and wonderful experience. Now, if this is not met, if the quality of the experience is not good enough, yeah, damage from that can be quite intense. Yes, we have all posted bad reviews about places or establishments that we did not like. Now, think about your hotel getting a 1-star review, yeah, on Google reviews, right? In today's world, yes, that is quite important. Reputation is definitely important for a service-based business like a hotel. Yeah. Now, people, inability to attract, retain, and motivate staff. We already talked about how the employee turnover was quite high. Now, this could be because of low pay, or it could be because of the fact that, uh, well, there are that employees have to work in, and you can't always find people who are willing to work in these late night shifts. Could be multiple problems, and ability to retain them, ability to motivate them. Maybe it's a lack of training, maybe it's a lack of proper management techniques. We don't know. We need more detail on that. But yeah, this seems to be a risk here. We don't know if Levwell is also facing this risk. There seems to be mention of this challenge here and there, but let's see if Levwell is also facing it. Otherwise, not an issue, yeah, but an issue in the entire industry as right. Then, technology. What is this? Reliance on in-house hosted management systems, failure to comply with strict SLN data protection laws. Oh, okay. Right. So using a management system, yeah, that is in-house hosted management system, like the one they are using here, that's fine. Yeah, relying on your own in-house system is good, provided your in-house system has or ticks all the boxes, especially related to compliance, related to data security. Yeah. Even if there is no law about it, you don't want to lose your customers' data. Yeah. Similarly, you don't want hackers getting into your databases, right? So reliance on this system, failure to comply with the SLN data protection laws can be a serious risk, can be a compliance risk. In today's world, data is as valuable or more valuable than gold. Yeah. So having proper data protection and all of that, quite important, right? Now, moving on from there, so the hotel management system that they use is in-house, so that's great, I would say, provided it's good. Otherwise, yeah, that's a bit of a risk. Yeah. Now, financial performance analysis. Let's look at the last 5 years and let's see how, yes, things are going. Yeah. Now, I believe this is the industry's analysis. Revenue seems to be at $182 million and going all the way up to $229 million in 5 years. So not bad. It's good growth that I can see. If I did draw a line through it, the trend is upwards. Yeah, and a healthy upwards. Yes, there you go. Steady growth. Yeah. Now, operating margin, on the other hand, not exactly the steadiest of the lot. It's still going up overall, stable and above average of 10%, industry average of 10%. So the industry average is 10%. These are Levwell's numbers. Yeah. So Levwell seems to be doing quite fine, if you ask me. Yeah, better than the industry average anyway. We're talking about operating profit, guys, not the gross profit. So operating profit margin being 10%. Yeah, that's the industry average, and we are at a 14%. Definitely good. Yeah. We always used to be above average, not bad. Overall, there is growth. There was a small dip last year, but we have quickly caught back up. Yeah. Now, moving on. Yes, revenue. Yes. And what is this? Yeah, revenue for the occupancy. Yeah, let's see what is happening over here. This has also been on a higher rate, but there seems to be a drop in between in 2024. Let's see if there is any more analysis details given as to why there may have been a drop, yeah, in this. Right. Now, but generally, yeah, moderate growth, not exactly steady growth. Yeah, so quality of revenue and the revenue that you're getting, decent. There. Moving on from there, occupancy above good benchmark in Estland of 70%. Yeah, we already saw the occupancy numbers earlier. It seems, yes, this company is doing quite, this company in the sense Levland is Levwell, sorry, not Levland, Iceland and Levwell. Levwell seems to be doing quite well. 77% occupancy in the latest year, yeah, as compared to the industry average of 70%, and the lowest being in the earliest of the 5 years, and that is at 73%. So not too bad. Yeah. Now, moving on, operational performance KPIs. Again, more information that is given to us. Looks very stable, averaging around 4.4 stars, indicating good guest experience. So guest satisfaction seems to be 4 and above. That's a great thing. Yeah. So 4.2, 4.4. Yeah. Good. 4.4 recently. Yeah. Not bad at all. Right. So this seems to be higher than the average too. Now, moving on from there, high staff turnover, industry-wide staffing risk and high replacement cost is going on. So we also seem to be having high employee turnover. 39% employee turnover is not good in any industry. So yeah, maybe something that we have to fix. Now, with that, let's look at the strategic priorities, yeah, that we can understand from the pre-seen material. Now, mitigating staff risk was, yes, something that we need to work on. Yeah, proposing solutions to address the 39% employee turnover. So employee turnover was definitely a challenge for this company. We already talked about this a bunch of times. So how do you mitigate that? This could be by reviewing pay, maybe increasing pay, or maybe paying properly, giving bonuses, giving some kind of a performance-based pay so that people are motivated to work more, right? Flexible scheduling so that I don't always have to work in the graveyard shift. Yeah. Better CPO strategy, right? Dealing with your customers and your problems, right? How do you do that? Yeah. Then moving on from there, yes, enhancing revenue management. So leveraging existing hotel management systems and yield management to smooth out off-peak seasonality, that is July to September. How are we going to smoothen the well, during off-peak? How are we going to get off-season? How are we going to get more bookings? Well, there could be a way. That could be by giving discounts, or maybe attracting bigger groups for events like weddings, or I don't know, expos, business expos. So trying to use your existing hotel management system and yield management to smooth out this, yeah, this could enhance revenue management. Yeah, one of the main priorities, strategically speaking. Again, addressing technology risk, reviewing the decision to use in-house hosted servers versus cloud computing to mitigate technology disruption and improve data security compliance. Now, guys, yes, you may all know about this, what clouds are and how cloud systems are used. Now, companies can rely on cloud systems by buying cloud space or hiring cloud space. Now, this may be sometimes seen as better than maintaining your own servers, because maintaining your own servers means an additional responsibility, an additional burden. But there are also advantages to doing this: better control over the data that you put into your systems, of course, better control over your system itself, yeah, rather than having a third party control this. Then Technology disruption. Yeah. So mitigating technology disruption, absolutely. If you have a cloud partner and the cloud partner is facing some problems that could translate to your system also facing problems, you can avoid that by having your own servers. And that's good. Improving data security compliance also is good, but there may be other problems like enhanced costs, more responsibilities, and whatnot. Right now, moving on from there, sustainable growth, we already talked about evaluating the trade-off between organic growth and potential strategic acquisition. So consolidation trend to quickly increase sales. Yeah, how are we going to increase sales? What are we going to do? Right? Should we just acquire another chain of hotels, or should we acquire or should we organically grow? Now, there are different reasons or different advantages and disadvantages for both of these aspects or both of these techniques. Organic growth, for example, helps you grow in such a way that you've seen all kinds of problems or all kinds of situations. So the company as such has a stronger foundation to deal with any kind of scenario it's thrown in. On the other hand, growth by acquisition can be much faster, provided you have the money for it. You can immediately buy a functioning hotel and then turn it into one of your hotels. Uh, the speed of growing bigger much faster with growth by acquisition, but the quality of growth needs to be carefully monitored. This is where, especially when two companies are joining together, there may be difference in cultures of the workforce, and getting them to work together, there can be all kinds of problems. We say there is synergy when companies join together. I hope you guys know what synergy is. 1 plus 1 is equal to 3, or 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. Yeah, all of that. Synergy is great, but synergy is great on paper. If you don't achieve it, then that synergy will never come to you. And this is actually a real world problem. Companies get together, merge, acquire other companies, all of that happens. But they don't achieve the success that they thought they would achieve from the merger or the acquisition. Now, why does that happen? This could be problems with change management, cultural mismatches, right? Not really considering the qualitative aspects of a merger or an acquisition. So again, sustainable growth thinks about all of these things. So evaluating the trade-off between whether you should grow organically or should you grow by acquisition. Yeah. Now, moving on from there, guys, the summary and conclusion. This is pretty much, well, not everything in the pre-scene, but let's summarize. Yeah. There is a strong position that Levwell currently has. We already saw the metrics. It seemed to be doing better than the industry averages. So Levwell has a strong competitive position in the market, and it is a very competitive market. Something else that we understood earlier when we read about the industry itself. Now, growth-wise, key performance indicators show growth in revenue, strong growth that too, and above average profits. 14% operating margin as compared to the industry average of just 10%. Moving on. Occupancy also, they seem to be above average all the time, more than 70%. Challenges: staff retention, seasonal volatility, economic downturn, and sustainability. These are the challenges faced by the industry and faced by Levwell. Yeah. Moving on, future focus, continue to increase revenue growth. So keep growing basically. Yeah. Somehow balance out the occupancy levels and maybe have more occupancy for the entire year. Then managing key risks, the key risks that we already discussed. And guest satisfaction, not guessing satisfaction, guest satisfaction, right? Making sure that our guests are satisfied, because this was something that related to our mission statement also. Now, moving on from there, guys, what you just saw was a small bit from the pre-scene kit that we have developed. Yeah. So we have actually applied all the 50 plus models that are there in SBL onto the pre-scene material. And there are theories that have been applied to the pre-scene, to the pre-scene company, right? So if anybody wants access to this, please drop a mail at info@learnsignal.com. Yeah. This is to purchase the kit. Yes, it is a paid thing. Yeah. But check it out. This can be quite helpful, right? It can be more than quite helpful, I believe, right? I went through it. It's absolutely helpful. So feel free to drop us an email, and grab a hold of that. Yeah. On the other hand, let me also mention to you guys, for anybody who's preparing for the SBL exam, remember the pre-scene material is just about setting the stage for your exam. Yeah. So it tells you what may or may not come up. You may have a taste of maybe a taste of what question can come up. Yeah. But I would say don't try to spot questions, or don't try to guess what area would come up or what question would come up. Leave that job to us. Yeah, we've already done that here. You can check out the models and all of that. But when you're studying, keep an open mind, keep a completely open mind, in the sense that there is more detail that we don't know yet. And that detail comes in your question paper. Yeah. So this pre-scene sets the stage. Yeah, make sure you have the knowledge required in case they ask you any kind of question from that pre-scene material or based on that. But otherwise, yeah, always remember, we don't know what exactly is going to be questioned in the exam. All of that comes up in the exam paper itself. There will be more detail than what you see in the pre-scene. Yeah. So keep this in mind when you guys study. So don't just study the pre-scene and go for your SBL exam. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Sure you have the required knowledge. And when you are looking through the pre-scene, yeah, get this, can be quite helpful. Yeah, so that you can see all the models together, right? So yeah, with that, right, I would say we can move to Q&A. Yeah, you guys can feel free to post your questions, yeah, on chat. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes on that, right? And here's the QR code, guys. Once again, I think my video is covering the dialog box, but if it does not, yeah, this is the QR code for the pre-scene contents that we have on the Learnsignal website. Yeah, and yeah, so please feel free to populate the chat box with your questions. And once again, here, so for anybody who wants to note down the email or wants to get in touch with us, that's where you should be reaching out. So yes, guys, 11 days and counting. Okay, 11 days to the end of the month. I would say, yeah, December is when your exam would be, right? So best of luck. Yeah, we are running out of days now. Hardly 2 weeks. SBL, I think, is on the 3rd, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I may be wrong on that. Right. I just know that AFM is on the 5th. Right. Anyway, so best of luck for you guys. Yeah, best of luck for what you have to study. Remember, last 10 days are the most crucial days. Yeah. Doesn't matter how you guys study, this is the time to make sure that there is no gap in your knowledge. Yeah, so if you haven't already attempted a mock exam or tried out a few questions, high time to do that. If you haven't acquired all the knowledge required to write the well, double down right now. Use this week, I would say. We are what, on a Tuesday? Today's a Tuesday, right? What is today? Yeah, we're on a sorry, we're on a Wednesday. Tuesday was yesterday. Yeah, the pre-scene came out yesterday. Correct. So we're on a Wednesday. I'd say use till the end of this week or till Saturday, yeah, to cover all the knowledge that you have to cover. If there is anything to go through, yeah. Assuming you guys haven't gone through stuff, but if you have, well and good, no problem. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Don't get too nervous or too anxious. It's doable. Yeah. There are people who do learn for the exam, right? 5 days, 10 days before. It's a lot of effort, but it's possible. So on that positive note, right? You guys are still early, so make sure you make use of that time. Yeah, I would say, yeah, use till the end of the week to make sure you cover all your topics. SBL is a nice subject to read through, as you may know. It's easy topics. It's mostly applying logic from a very strategic sense. So try to get into the gist of that. Then the next week, I would recommend complete question practice, going through the pre-scene analysis, checking out, yes, our pre-scene analysis too. Yeah. Seeing if you know all the models. There are a lot of models in SBL. Mentioning models will get you marked, as you guys know. Not simply rambling about models. Yeah. But mentioning the right models will get you good marks. So don't taunt them. Yeah. Because there are no formulas, there are no calculations that you can learn. So I wouldn't say the exam is quantitative by nature. It's more qualitative. Again, something that you guys definitely know by now. So watch out for your models. And yes, Yanel, I can see your message here. Thanks. A great session. Hey, most welcome. Right. That means a lot to me. Now, any questions, guys? If we don't have any questions, I think we can wrap up. Yeah. So once again, here's the email ID. Yeah. Reach out to us for the proper pre-scene kit with all the models applied and all the theory that you need to know from SBL. Now, other than that, yeah, best of luck for your exam. Right. Once again, my name is Arvind Suryadev. I'm Learnsignal here. Check out our other videos and check out this pre-scene analysis once again. It'll be available on YouTube, right? And reach out to us for all your queries. Yeah. So thank you guys. Hope you guys had a good session. You guys have a great day too. Bye-bye.